Hey, this is Andrew Brown. In this video, we're going to take a look at the metadata service, which is a way of getting metadata information about our EC2 instance while we are on the interior of it. So I'm going to launch up first an EC2 instance that just will give us access to version 1, and then we'll do version 2. So we'll go ahead and say metadata EC2 or metadata version 1 maybe. And we're going to choose Amazon Linux 2023. We're going to stick with T2 Micro. I do not want to use key pairs. For this, we don't need any security groups, so that's not going to matter in this case. So I'm going to go with the default one, as there's nothing special that we need here today. I'm going to go to advanced details. I'm going to choose our EC2 SSM role. If you don't know what that is, go make yourself an IAM profile. It's super easy. I don't say it in every video what you need to do, but the idea is what you're going to do is go here and choose EC2. Okay, go next, and you're looking for SSM core, and that's going to be your policy, okay? But I'm just going to go back over to here, and I want to launch up this instance. There's nothing super fancy going on here that I need to do. We don't even need to have a run script, but one thing I do want to check is the metadata information. So if we go over to metadata, we can choose whether it's accessible or not. And then we have metadata version. So whether it's version 2 or going to be version 1 and 2, which is interesting that I can't just say 1, but you can say with or without the token. And so this is going to give us the option of doing one or the other. So actually, I guess we can do everything in one instance. We'll go ahead and launch this instance. So that is now launching. We'll go over here and we will wait for this, this to get running, okay? All right, so I think this is running. And I mean, really, still not initialized. There we go. Really, it's version 1 and version 2, right? But we'll go ahead here and create a connection, and we'll go establish that connection. So now we are here. I'm going to go ahead and type in sudo su -ec2 user so that we are logged into the default user, which is what we want to be. And so this IP is 169.254, 169.254. I kind of feel like we need a bit of a scratch pad. So what I'm going to do is just go over to my GitHub repo. You can use whatever you want. I'm just going to use this as the scratch pad because it's just so quick and easy for me to open. I'm hitting period with github.dev. And we'll go over here and I'm going to make a new text file. And I just want to write some stuff in here. So the first thing is that we want to curl over to this particular address. So it's 169.254, 169.254. And I don't know if they do it anymore in the exam, but it still might appear on the exam. So you might want to have that there, like know about that, right? So I think that is the default URL that we want to hit. So let me just double check my slides. It's metadata. So if we want to get all the metadata, we're going to go ahead and utilize this. So we're going to go ahead and copy this, and we're going to go back over to here. I'm going to type in curl. I'm going to paste this in and hit enter. And notice it's showing us the categories that we can then query. I want to show you that you can use this with wget. Wget's going to be a little bit different. So we'll type in this -QO hyphen, sorry, 0. I put 0 in there. It's supposed to be O, I think. And you have to actually type wget correctly, and you don't want to have the word curl in there. And you're supposed to have a space after it, and you're supposed to have the protocol. Lots of mistakes. But there you go. Same process, right? But I'm going to use the curl because it's a little bit nicer to write. And so now that we have our curl, let's go look at all the categories that are possible. So we'll just type in categories, metadata EC2. And you'll see why I didn't include in the slide because there's just way too many. There's just tons and tons. So if we go here, we could try to find something. So let's take a look here and see something fun that we could pull up. I mean, not super fun, but we can get the public IPv4 address. So I'm going to go back over to here into our scratchpad. And the idea is that we should be able to append this on the end. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I believe it's just this to get it. So hopefully that works. We'll go back over here to Sessions Manager. And we'll hit enter. And so notice we're getting back the IPv4 address. So we know how to do it with version 1. Let's do it with version 2. So for version 2, we actually have to get a token. And I think what we should do is we should force it to only use version 2 first. So that's what I would like to do. And so let's go ahead and use a CLI command to do that. So this one is the modify instance metadata options, I think it's called. So we'll say EC2 client modify instance metadata options. I make it sound like I have all this stuff memorized, but I don't. I have slides over here to to appear a little bit smarter than I am, but definitely can get stuff done here. So we go down here below and we can see our example here. I'm going to go ahead and copy this. And I'm going to go back over to our Scratchpad. And so this is enforcing that this is required. So that's all I really want to put on here. I don't think we need to change this because it already is enabled. So that is totally fine. We probably will have to specify the region. So we'll go ahead here and type in CA Central 1. And the other part is we're going to need to go get this instance ID. Now this might not take effect until we restart the machine. I'm not 100% sure, but we're going to find out here in just a moment. Okay, so we'll go ahead and we'll copy this command. I actually want to do this from Cloud Shell, so we'll open up Cloud Shell here. And we'll just give it a moment to load. It is now loaded. We'll go ahead and paste in our link. And we'll hit enter. And so that should enable, yep, version 2, because we're expecting that token. So if we go up, this should not work. And so that instantly works. So now we have to use the token method in order to grab it. I find it easier to set the token up separately here. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go down here for a moment. I'm going to type in token, $, and I'm going to go ahead and type in my curl. So this will be curl-x because we need to specify that it needs to be a put method. We're going to have double quotations for our string. We're going to have something very similar here. So I'm going to grab this one up here. But instead of going to the metadata, we're going to go and get an API token. And then I'm just going to put a / on the end here. And the next thing we need to do is we need to define a header because we're going to need a header. This is AWS EC2 MetaData token TTL seconds because we're going to say how long we want this to live for. I'm not sure how long 6,000 seconds is, but that sounds like a lot of seconds. We could shorten it if you really want to. I'm not going to do that here today. And so that will get us our token. The only other thing I want to do is I want to put a silent on our curl here. Just going to double check that. Looks good to me. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that. And we'll paste this in here. Hit enter. And I'm just going to do an echo on my token to see if it's actually set. And it says 403 forbidden. So that's not necessarily a good thing, as we do want this to work out properly. So let me just double check and see what I'm doing wrong, okay? Now, as far as I can tell, this looks fine to me, but it's just not working. So what I'm going to do, because we did make a major change, I'm going to go ahead and reboot this instance. So we'll go ahead and reboot this. And so that should stop this here. Great, so that's going to terminate that session. We're going to go ahead and reconnect when it is ready to let us reconnect. So we'll have to wait a little bit, okay? All right, let's give this a refresh and see if we're able to reconnect to Sessions Manager here. There we go. We'll go ahead and do that. And we'll just log in here again, sudo su-ec2 user. And so I'm hoping that now what we'll be able to do is use that token. I'm going to go back over to our Scratchpad, grab this line that we wrote, and hopefully it's just going to work. If it doesn't, we can probably go to the docs and try to get the correct one. Still not working, okay? Let's just go over to the docs. So we'll say metadata EC2 docs. It's frustrating because this worked before. And we want to take a look at actually how to utilize it. So if we go here, it should be something like use it, retrieve instance metadata. So this is 2. This is like another way of doing it. We'll go ahead and copy this. Just copy the line as such. I'll go back here, paste it in, hit enter. And it's working, okay? So for whatever reason, I'm not sure why it wouldn't let me set the token there, but now it is working. We're using version 2. And there you go. So those are the 2 methods that you can utilize. You can see you can turn it on and off. You have to restart the server, possibly, but not super complicated. But yeah, we'll just wrap this up here by terminating this instance. Here we go. And I will see you in the next one. Ciao.